Welcome to day 17. Turn your why into a relatable story. Specific moments create stronger connection than general statements. Go deeper than I wanted freedom. You may already know why you started, but today we go deeper. Saying I wanted more freedom is true, but broad. Most people want more freedom. Your message becomes powerful when you explain what freedom actually looked like to you. Give people a moment they can see. Instead of I wanted more time with my family, say I wanted to be the person picking my children up from school on a Tuesday afternoon. Instead of I wanted more financial security, I wanted to stop say I wanted to stop checking my bank account before buying groceries. A real moment creates an image creates emotion. General statements are forgettable. People hear statements like these every day. I wanted freedom. I wanted more money. I wanted a better life. I wanted to leave my job. Those statements are wrong. They're simply incomplete. The real connection comes from the detail underneath them. Ask what freedom meant to you. What did you actually want to be able to do? Maybe you wanted to take a weekday off without asking permission, pay a bill without feeling anxious, visit family without worrying about lost income, build something no employer could take away. Name the moment, not only the idea. Specificity stops the scroll. That is exactly how I feel. That's what you want your potential customer to say. The moment of recognition is what earns attention. You're not trying to impress the person, you're helping them feel understood. The clearer the detail, the easier it is for the right person to recognize themselves in your story. One real detail beats a perfect sentence. General, I was burned out. Specific, I would sit in my car for a few minutes after work because I did not have the energy to walk inside. Specific details make ordinary experiences memorable. The three-part story framework. Before, what did life look or feel like before? Turning point, what made you decide something had to change? And the now, what is different today? Okay, so whatever business you're doing, you can apply it to your business. You can tell a meaningful story in only 3 sentences. So, part one, the before. Describe one real moment from before you started. You might mention a bill you struggled to pay. This is more towards my industry, like the wealth industry, helping people make money online. So, it's going to be kind of like catered towards that, most of these examples, right? But you could use this for any business. Okay. So, you might mention a bill you struggled to pay, a schedule that controlled your life, a Sunday evening filled with anxiety, a realization that your income was not secure. Choose one detail. Don't try to explain your entire life. Example, the before. Instead of I was overworked and underpaid, you can say I was giving most of my energy to my job and still worrying about whether my next paycheck would cover everything. Instead of I hated my schedule, say I realized I had to ask permission to use my own time. Make the struggle visible. Part two, the turning point. The turning point is the moment you stopped accepting the situation as permanent. Ask what happened? What did someone say? What were you afraid would happen? What made you start looking? A turning point is often quiet. It may simply be the moment you decided, I cannot keep doing this. My turning point was a few years ago, my company cut my pay. That moment made me realize how little control I had over my financial future. I had worked hard, but one decision made by someone else could still affect my income. That was when I knew I needed to build something on my own. And that's why I started my online business. So part three, the now. Your now doesn't need to be a dramatic success story. It doesn't mean you have to make like $1 million in a month. It only needs to be honest. Maybe you now have a clearer direction, new skills, you have greater confidence, a system to follow, your first customer. Small, real progress is still transformation. You don't need huge results yet. Some people say I can't share my story because I haven't made enough money yet if they're in the wealth industry. But your story can still be valuable. You can talk about what you're learning, why you feel more hopeful, what fear you overcame, what action you finally took. You don't need to be at the finish line to help someone take the first step. Beginners can be highly relatable. Someone only a few steps ahead can be easier to relate to than someone who appears far ahead. A beginner still remembers the hesitation, the confusion, the first uncomfortable video, the uncertainty before starting. That honesty can create deep trust. Don't hide the fact that you're learning. Use it responsibly. Your audience recognizes themselves first. When someone reads your story, they're not immediately evaluating your business. First, they're asking, is this person like me? Recognition comes before curiosity. Curiosity comes before action. You are not selling the story. Your job is not to force the story into a sales pitch. You are simply saying, this is where I was, this is what caused me to change, and this is what I'm building now. The right person may think, maybe I need a turning point too. That is connection, not pressure. Speak to the person you once were. Think about the version of you who hadn't started yet. What were they feeling? What were they afraid of? What did they believe? What did they need to hear? When you speak clearly to your past self, you often speak directly to your ideal customer. Use emotion through detail. Instead of saying it was scary, say, I remember wondering what would happen if my income dropped again. Instead of I felt trapped, say I realized every important part of my week had to fit around someone else's schedule. Show the emotion through the moment. Keep the story focused. A powerful story doesn't need every detail. Avoid explaining. Avoid explaining your entire work history, every business you tried, every obstacle you experienced, every lesson you learned. Choose the one detail that supports today's message. Clarity is more powerful than length. A three-sentence story. Before, my company cut my pay and I realized how little control I had over my income. Turning point. I decided I'd rather become a beginner and learn something new than continuing depending on one paycheck. Now, today I am building an online business, developing valuable skills, and helping others see that another path may be possible. Three sentences can be enough. You can use that for any business. Whatever business you're doing, share your story about how your product or opportunity or service not only has helped you and is helping other people. Okay. So connect this story to your promotion. After sharing your story, connect it to a current campaign, giveaway, training, or event. For example, you could say, that is why I wanted to tell you about the promotion this week, or that is why this giveaway matters to me, or that is why I'm inviting more beginners to look at the blueprint. The connection should feel natural. The story comes first, the promotion comes second. Practice makes perfect. Don't force the connection. Avoid saying my life was falling apart. Buy now. That breaks trust. Instead, use a bridge. Say, because I remember what it felt like to need another option, I wanted to make sure you knew about something happening this week. Let the invitation grow naturally from the story. A simple story post formula. Number one, sentence one, before. Share one real detail about your previous situation. Sentence two, turning point. Explain what caused you to take action. Sentence three, now. Share what is genuinely different today. Sentence four, invitation. Give the person a simple next step. Keep it clear. Example story post. Example story post. A few years ago, my company cut my pay, and I realized how quickly someone else's decision could affect my future. I had already tried different online opportunities, but I decided I'd rather keep learning than remain stuck. Today, I am building an automated online business, developing valuable skills, and helping other beginners understand how this model works. If you've been looking for another option, comment ready, and I'll send you the blueprint details. That's a story post. Example for someone brand new. A few weeks ago, I was still wondering whether I had the skills to build anything online. I finally decided that I did not need to know everything. I only needed to be willing to learn. Now I have a clear starting point, support around me, and a better understanding of how an online business is built. If you've been waiting because you feel inexperienced, comment info, and I'll share what helped me begin. These are just examples. You can modify it to your own story and business. Time freedom example. I did not only want more freedom, I wanted to stop feeling like my entire life had to fit around my work schedule. My turning point came when I realized waiting for my schedule to change was not a plan. Now I'm building something that gives me more control over how I use my time. If that kind of freedom matters to you too, comment ready and I'll send you the details. Financial pressure example. I was tired of feeling anxious every time an unexpected expense appeared. I knew I needed to develop another income producing skill instead of hoping my financial situation would change by itself. Today, I understand more about content, email, automation, and building an online business than I ever thought I would. If you want to learn what I'm building, comment info. Create a video version. So number one, hook. One moment made me realize I needed another income option. Before, share the real detail, turning point, explain the decision. Now, share what changed. And CTA, invite the viewer to comment or reply. CTA, call to action. Aim for clarity, not perfect delivery. Don't over rehearse. You should know the point of your story, but you don't need to memorize every word. Over rehearsing can remove the emotion. Use short notes. What happened, how it felt, what changed, what you're inviting them to do. Then speak naturally. Your audience is looking for honest, not acting. Imperfect and specific beats polished and generic. So a polished post that sounds like everyone else's is easy to ignore. An imperfect post with one truthful detail can create connection. Don't spend hours replacing your natural voice with complicated language. Read the post aloud. Would I actually say this? If not, simplify it. Reply personally to every comment. When people respond, continue the conversation. You might ask, what part of the story connected with you? Are you feeling something similar right now? What kind of change are you hoping to create? What has kept you from starting? The post earns attention, the reply begins a relationship. Let the comments guide your content. Pay attention to what people say. Their responses may reveal common struggles, emotional triggers, questions, objections, language they naturally use. Your audience is giving you valuable market research. Today's assignment, share your before. What was one specific moment that showed you something needed to change? And then two, your turning point. What made you finally act? And three, your now. What is honestly different today? Then add one simple invitation. Make each sentence real and visual. Story prompts. Complete these sentences. I knew something needed to change when. I was tired of. The moment that changed my thinking was. I decided to start because the biggest change so far has been. Choose the answers that feel most honest. Don't simply say you wanted freedom. Show people what freedom meant to you. Specificity creates recognition. Recognition creates trust. I'll see you tomorrow for day 18. Expect miracles. Have a great day. God bless.